All right, let's dive right into one of the deepest mysteries we know, the actual nature of your own mind. We're going to peel back the layers of what you call reality, and it all kicks off with a really strange idea.
Just take a look around you for a second. The screen you're looking at, maybe the room you're sitting in. It all feels totally solid, completely real, right? But what if I told you that you've never, not even once in your entire life, actually made direct contact with the world out there?
You see, your brain lives its entire life locked inside a pitch-black, totally silent vault, your skull. It has no eyes, no ears, no fingertips. The only thing it ever gets from the outside world is a relentless storm of electrical spikes, delivered by your nerves. That's it. Just a blizzard of abstract data.
And from that chaotic storm of signals, your brain has to make a guess, an educated guess about what in the world could be causing them. And that guess? Well, that's your reality. Everything you see, hear, and feel isn't a perfect window onto the world. It's more like an elaborate movie, a controlled hallucination that your brain creates just to help you survive.
So how on earth does it do that? How does this, 3-pound lump of tissue turn what's basically just electrical code into the rich, colorful, meaningful experience of being you? Let's take a look under the hood at the machinery of the mind.
So one of the leading ideas is called the global workspace theory. The best way to think about it is to picture your brain as this massive, bustling theater. Most of the work, billions and billions of calculations, is all happening unconsciously, backstage in the dark.
But every now and then, one piece of information, a sound, a thought, a feeling, wins a kind of competition for attention. It gets shoved into this brilliant, bright spotlight on the main stage. And once it's there, it's broadcast globally to all the other systems in the brain. Your memory, your language centers, your planning skills. In this view, for you to be conscious of something just is for it to be in that global broadcast.
Now, a competing theory comes at this from a totally different angle. It's called integrated information theory, or IIT. And it argues that consciousness isn't about what a system does, like broadcasting information, but it's about what a system is. It's about the very structure of the thing itself. IIT even proposes a mathematical measure for this, a value called phi. A system has high phi if it's deeply integrated, if its whole is genuinely greater than the sum of its parts. And here's the really wild part. According to this theory, any system with a high enough phi could be conscious. Not just a brain, but maybe a complex computer circuit, or maybe something else entirely. Okay, so the brain builds this incredible movie of reality. But who's the main character? Who's the one watching the film? What about that persistent feeling that there's a you at the center of everything? Let's go looking for the ghost in the machine.
Well, neuroscientists have actually found a network in the brain that seems to be the source of our inner narrator. It's called the default mode network. And this is the part of your brain that kicks into high gear whenever your mind is just wandering. When you're daydreaming or worrying about the future or replaying something from the past. It's constantly weaving the story of me.
So when that default mode network is running the show, we're totally lost in that personal story. But think about a time you were completely absorbed in a task, playing an instrument, or focused on a sport. A different network takes over. And in those moments of flow, that constant chatter about me, it tends to get a lot quieter, doesn't it? The storyteller kind of takes a break.
And this really shows how fragile that sense of self can be. Things like deep meditation or certain substances like psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, they can dramatically quiet down the default mode network. And people who go through this often report a profound feeling of ego dissolution, where the boundary between them and the rest of the world just completely melts away. The story of me just pauses.
Experiences like that are a powerful reminder that our normal, everyday consciousness is really just one of many channels the brain can tune into. So let's explore just how fragile our awareness really is.
I mean, just look at sleep. Every single night, you slip into a deep, dreamless state where complex communication across your brain breaks down, and for all intents and purposes, your awareness just vanishes. But then, a few hours later, your brain roars back to life during REM sleep, creating these bizarre, fully immersive worlds completely from scratch. It's proof that consciousness doesn't even need the outside world to exist. It just needs its own internal simulation running.
And even more profoundly, brain injuries can shatter our awareness in truly devastating ways. Can you imagine being fully conscious but completely unable to move a single muscle? That's what's known as locked-in syndrome. Or what about states where awareness just flickers on and off, or seems to disappear entirely, leaving a living, breathing body with an uncertain mind inside? These disorders push our understanding right to the absolute edge. And this all leads to one of the most agonizing questions in all of medicine and ethics. How can we ever know for sure if someone is still in there when they can no longer tell us? The search for a real, reliable consciousness meter is one of the most urgent and important quests in all of neuroscience today.
So for our final step, let's go right to the very edge of what we know, to that fuzzy border where science meets philosophy, and ask the biggest question of them all.
There's this ancient idea that's getting a serious second look from some scientists. It's called panpsychism, and it offers a pretty radical alternative to everything we've talked about. What if consciousness didn't just emerge out of complex brains? What if experience is a fundamental property of matter itself? That maybe even something like an electron has some tiny, unimaginably simple flicker of what it's like to be.
This table really sums up the two great opposing camps in this entire debate. On one side, you have the idea that consciousness is an emergent property, something that just happens when biology gets complicated enough. And on the other, you have this wild idea that it's a fundamental feature of the cosmos, woven into the very fabric of reality from the beginning. Which leaves us with this final mind-bending question. Are you a biological machine that creates consciousness from scratch? Or are you a tiny piece of an already conscious universe that has, just for a brief moment, woken up to look at itself through your eyes? Right now, that is a question that science simply cannot answer.
If this little journey into the mind made you question the reality that's playing out inside your head, then do me a favor and hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Brain Binge for more deep dives into the science of you.